You make me feel like, you make me feel.
Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so very much for stopping by today. For those of you who are new, my name is Andreen and I'm continuing the series helping out young entrepreneurs who are interested specifically in starting a hair business in 2020. If you're interested in this content as well as beauty, fashion and travel, please subscribe, share and stay tuned. Alright guys, so it's currently minutes to 11 p.m. at night. I came home from work and decided I'm just going to do a video to just ensure that you guys have something tomorrow. So I'll be working on this as soon as I'm done and then I'll be heading out to work. Yes, it's going to be Sunday, but I have something doing that is extremely important and I'm going to have you guys, I'm going to catch you guys up with that in future videos. Now, what are we talking about? Of course, the drink is just to put me to bed after this so that I don't, stay up thinking about everything that I did. So it's just some Chardonnay. So you have watched my last video and you have realized that yes, regardless of all the challenges that 2020 has to offer, as well as the challenges that are unique to the hair business, you still would like to start a hair business in 2020. If that is the plan, well, let's get into it. Now, a lot of persons who are starting a hair business, they're caught up in trying to find a vendor. And that is pretty important because this is a foundation, well, one of the foundations to your business. So there are many ways to find a vendor. You can research. It's going to always be about research, guys. You don't want to rely heavily on someone to provide you with a vendor. But you can do research on Google. You can do research on YouTube, you can do research on Instagram, Facebook. These vendors are just there sitting, waiting for you to find them. In addition, there are some persons who are selling the vendor list and you have to be very careful, yes, but there are certain persons who you can depend on. Specifically, if you're going to be purchasing a vendor list from a vendor, please ensure that that person also sells hair and they sell great quality hair, because there are persons who are just randomly selling vendor and they know absolutely nothing about hair, what to look for, what qualifies a awesome vendor, which is going to be something I go through in the other video. So first off, do a lot of research and try to narrow down at least 3 vendors. You cannot rely only on one person because anything at all can happen. They may be sold out of hair and then you're going to be looking like, what, brother dog, don't know what you're going to do. So I have more than 3 vendors because you may find that some vendors are great at selling hair while others are great at selling closures or frontals or wigs. So it's very important to diversify, as well as some persons may sell better quality at a higher rate than others. So you need to have a diverse set of vendors when you're starting a hair business. Another thing that is very important is that you guys will have to start searching for a unique name, not just any old name like Keisha Hair and things, Mel's Hair, Mel's Virgin Hair. Like, you have to be a little bit bigger than that, because when you're starting a business, you want to ensure that you think about the future. It just does not stop at you and your friends in your community. You have to think global because we're currently living in a global economy. So don't just use any old name. Use a name that will allow you to sell other products under that name. So it's not like, for example, if you had said Charmaine's Shoes, in the future, if you plan to sell clothes, the name would limit your ability to promote other things, because they're going to say, well, her name is Shoes, but now she's selling bags. Is it that she specializes in shoes and bag is just a thing? So you want to ensure that the name that you choose encompasses the possibilities of your business. Now, when you finally find that name, a special type of name like Weave Darling. Well, I'm kidding, guys. But when you find that name that you feel strongly about, I'm going to advise you to start securing it on all platforms. So if you are an Instagram person, a Facebook person, a Twitter person, Snapchat, try to find out if the name is available on all those platforms before you actually claim it, because you're trying to be consistent across board. That will be appealing to the mass, as well as it will build trust. Now, for those of you who are interested in doing an online store, it's extremely important that you decide on the day that you're searching for names that you're going to pay for it that day. What will happen is that I don't know what they're called, those tech persons. When you search for a name and it's a great name and you don't claim it at the same time, the possibility of you leaving and going about your business and then coming back to that name is extremely slim. They use some programs to see, unique names, and sometimes they will take that name and try to sell it back to you or try to sell it to someone else. So when you're going to be doing an online search of that name, when you're buying a domain, please ensure that you have your credit card ready to purchase it if it is something extremely unique that you cannot allow to go. After you've secured your name on all the platforms, it is important to register your name with the registrar of companies in Jamaica if you're in Jamaica, or your state based on where you're located. And information can be found on the website, but it's pretty simple. They're going to ask for you to just come in with your identification, your TRN, so on and so forth. You're going to fill out a form. While you're filling out the form, they will check the system to find out if there's someone else that is registered with that name or something extremely close, and then based on that, you'll be instructed as to what to do. All right, so if your name is approved by the company's office, the next step is to get yourself an awesome logo maker. I definitely recommend to you persons who you can trust, people who have created an actual business out of creating logos and so on and so forth. And I will still go ahead and leave a name below of someone who helped me years ago. His business is flourishing. He's definitely someone you can trust. So get yourself a unique logo, something that will create your brand presence, something that is going to be extremely unique to you. You can go anywhere in the world and you will recognize Skittles, you'll recognize Pepsi. Do not limit yourself because you're considering yourself to being someone small. That is not the way to go. Think big, because the possibilities are definitely endless. All right, so you finally did the research, you found out possible vendors. When you're going to be testing out vendors, what they sell, there are quite a few things that are very important for you to pay attention to, and we can go into that in detail in the next video. However, it is important that when you're purchasing your first set from them, do not buy too many hairs from the vendor. What you do is that you test different vendors and keep all the hairs close until you're able to decide. For example, if I were you, really, I would buy 4 pieces of hair and a closure. And what that will allow me to do is to hold back on one of the bundle and then seek the assistance of someone you can trust, your friends, your family. Sell them that hair at cost. You're not trying to make profit at this moment because their opinion is gold. You're going to sell them that hair at cost, hold back that one bundle of hair and tag it. So vendor 1, which is whomever that is. You do the same after you retain that monies. You're going to buy another set of hair from someone else and you're going to do the same thing. 4 bundles of hair and a closure, hold back one of that bundle. As you go along, you're creating the opportunity to compare the hair qualities without putting too much of your monies into inventory. Now, it is also important that while you are looking into these vendors, you can also ask them if they provide packaging, and they'll allow you to send them your logo and make the packaging for you, because you'll find that it is relatively cheap going with them as opposed to finding an external person. Now guys, when you sell that hair to your friend and your family, and other persons you can trust around you for real concrete feedback, you are going to ask them to post it on their Instagram, their Facebook, whichever social media they have, and you're going to ask them also to send it to you. You can then, with their permission, promote this picture to give your Instagram or wherever you're posting it some attention, and then based off of that, you could possibly book your next client. It's very important to show pictures and videos of persons who've actually used your hair, because that is the way you're going to be building integrity within the business. I understand that you definitely can post other people's videos or other people's hair, but there's a possibility of you losing that interest to the company's picture that you've posted. That is definitely a possibility, and for other persons it may give them the impression that you are probably a scammer or just some weird vibes. It does work, especially if you put wig inspiration or hair inspiration, but if you do not tag the person that the hair or wigs belong to, you are going to start looking a bit shady. So it's better for you to ask a friend or family and use their pictures to promote your business. Now, when you're starting out and you start getting a little interest, I'm sure you guys are interested in finding out how many hairs do you buy at a first go. That is going to be a little bit more complicated because it will explore what your budget is and all of that. However, if you have just some small budget, I would say you can go with 4 bundles of each length. Decide first, who are you targeting? If it's workforce, I guess you can do anywhere between 12 and 16, 4 bundles of each. Then if it's your Insta girls, you can go anywhere between 16 to 22 inches. If it's the hotties, that love lengths and inches, you're thinking about like a 22 through to 30. So you have to first find who is it that you're targeting, and based on that, you definitely can get 4 lengths of each. So for 12, for 14, for 16, work with that first, because more than likely people will be using either 2 or 3 bundles of hair to complete their hair, and it's also dependent on the quality of the hair. Some hairs you will need only 2 bundles, while others you may need 3, depending on the weight of the hair. If the hair is full or not, you will have to use that to decide how many bundles each person would use to give a handsome look. Now, lastly, guys, it's important to rely on technology to do a lot of the work, but there's nothing like face-to-face contact. What you can do is to use some of that hair, install it in your head, and you go on the road yourself. You're going to a restaurant, you're going on the actual road, you're going to a workplace, you're going to the bank. Take along some cards with you, and the moment someone looks at your hair and give you a compliment, you hand them that card, because it is good and well to show something on the internet, but when you're seeing something in person, you definitely have an advantage, in my opinion, because right there the proof is in the pudding. So that is the short way of actually getting your hair business on the road as it pertains to understanding what is awesome hair, as it pertains to really nailing what an awesome vendor is. I'm glad to provide those other 2 videos, so please stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so very much for coming by today again, and have yourself a good one.